boxing skills are sublime. No doubt he's pound for pound one of the best on the planet Earth. Crawford is the real deal.
Man, Bud Crawford can't beat no Canelo Alvarez. I beg to differ. He gonna smash Canelo Alvarez, man. I'm telling y'all right now.
Honestly, like, as of right now, I think Bud to beat Canelo. It's not gonna quit. There's nothing that's gonna change what I feel.
Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman expose a critical weakness that could cost Canelo against Terence Crawford. They claim Canelo isn't as unbeatable as many fans think. While Crawford has established himself as the best of this generation, his sharp boxing skills and smooth footwork pose challenges that Canelo may not easily overcome. According to them, this vulnerability will eventually result in Canelo being outclassed and decisively defeated when the two finally meet inside the ring.
Get back in the ring with Terence Crawford. Not too soon. Maybe you take a year off and then come back and work your way to the 154, 160 division, and Terence Crawford be there and y'all want to meet again. That's cool. That's cool. But you don't need to be going back in the ring with him this December. I know that much.
Stephen A. Smith emphasizes that Canelo leans far too much on his power punches, assuming raw strength alone guarantees success. He argues this tactic will fail against Terence Crawford, who excels with intelligence, accuracy, and movement. According to Stephen, beating someone like Crawford requires more than brute force, and Canelo's heavy dependence on power shots will ultimately collapse when faced with Crawford's superior tactical awareness and unmatched boxing brilliance inside the squared circle.
You got a love for boxing.
Yeah, love
Who
boxing.
gonna win the fight, man? That's coming up, the biggest
Crawford.
fight in boxing.
Crawford.
Huh?
Crawford. I'm not hesitating. Crawford. I'm not even hesitating. Crawford.
You gonna stand on that all the way to September 13th?
I love Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo by decision. I can't see anybody knocking out Canelo Alvarez. But I do believe that if you can box and you can move, that you can beat Canelo. You can outpoint him.
That's right.
When I think about Canelo, one of the things that I don't like about Canelo, despite his greatness, and a neck as wide as Broadway for crying out loud.
Right.
It's like almost every shot has to be a power shot.
It's a power shot, yeah.
That's not beating Crawford. I will confess, I think Gervonta Davis' trainer, Cal, I think he said this. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble if he decides to engage with Canelo, because Canelo is the naturally bigger, stronger fighter. And I don't care that Crawford's gotten bigger, and I don't care that Crawford's gonna go in there just as big as Canelo. Canelo is accustomed to fighting at the weight, and Crawford is not. And Canelo is a genius in this regard. You don't see him show up for fights not ready. He's always ready.
He's always prepared.
He's always ready.
Gotta
He's
give him that.
always prepared. So I think he's the slower fighter, though. And I think that Crawford is brilliant as a boxer. And I think that between switching to conventional and southpaw, using his jab and movement, I think that Crawford is going to outpoint Canelo because he's faster.
Max Kellerman's analysis draws a sharp contrast between technique and strength in the Canelo versus Crawford fight. He notes that Crawford's jab has become one of the most dangerous weapons in boxing, controlling range and dictating rhythm. Meanwhile, Canelo's once reliable jab has declined, forcing him to rely heavily on counters and raw force. Kellerman insists that Crawford's timing, accuracy, and intelligence can neutralize Canelo's physical advantage, proving adaptability, and technical mastery outweigh sheer size and power in elite matchups.
Crawford. Best defense. Crawford. Nowadays, Crawford. I would say early in the fight, Canelo. And earlier in his career, Canelo. But he hasn't been that kind of fighter in recent years. Although Crawford is also hittable. With any fighter, when you talk about their defense, the question is not, can they be hit with a shot? You take punches. Everyone, the greatest defensive fighters ever get hit. Pernell Whitaker, Willie Pep, Floyd Mayweather, they all get hit. The question is, can you hit them with combinations? And both guys are hard to hit. With the two-piece, hard to hit.
Who has the best footwork out of the two?
In terms of cutting off the ring, last fight notwithstanding, Canelo has gotten much better at cutting off the ring. But, you know, early in his career, he had a problem with that and was much more comfortable counterpunching. But overall, I have to say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford. What Canelo has is size, and as a result, physical strength and punching power. Canelo also has a great chin. But in terms of if you want to go skill for skill, especially the recent version of Canelo, who's had to turn into a seek and destroy guy, who had to learn as his career went on to cut off the ring and not just follow guys around. Like Lara, Trout, Floyd, he followed those guys around. He had trouble because he's really a natural counterpuncher who wants you to come to him.
Timothy Bradley Jr. makes a striking comparison between the doubts Muhammad Ali faced and the skepticism aimed at Terence Crawford now. He recalls how critics believed Ali couldn't defeat George Foreman's overwhelming power and size. Yet, Ali triumphed through superior tactics, intelligence, and durability. Bradley sees the same pattern with Crawford, as many say he cannot overcome Canelo Alvarez because of size differences. However, Bradley maintains greatness depends on preparation, strategy, and determination. Crawford's year-long commitment to this fight reflects his desire to silence all critics.
They said Ali couldn't beat George Foreman. Yep. They said that Jack Dempsey couldn't beat Jess Willard. Yeah. 6'6", Jess Willard, 250 plus pounds. Little old Jack Dempsey knocked him out. Yeah. They saying Terence Crawford can't beat no Canelo Alvarez. I beg to differ. He gonna smash Canelo Alvarez, man. I'm telling y'all right now. He gonna smash Canelo Alvarez. It's not gonna be a fair fight. I promise you that. It's not gonna be a fair fight. Because the minute he get acclimated to that punching power, it's gonna be over for Canelo Alvarez. Yeah, that wide swinging left hook, them big looping right hands. Oh, he can straighten that right hand. You don't think they're gonna be ready for that? Crawford and his team are the best in the business. Yeah, best in the business. Crawford has trained for this for an entire year. 1 year for one man. Thinking about him every day when he's out there grinding, watching videos, studying film. Yeah, everybody talking about the weight. The weight, he's too heavy. Tim, his weight class is for a reason. And all of this crap, man. You think greatness is just built on just being comfortable? Greatness is built on being uncomfortable. Yeah, when before we even landed on the moon, it was an idea, right? It was an idea. And then they brought it to life, and we landed on the moon. I know there's some conspiracy theories out there saying that we didn't land on the moon, but you know what the hell I'm talking about. You get it? Yeah, we talk about size. Like size is everything. What about skill? What about mentality?
Bernie the boxer firmly rejects the notion that Crawford is undersized for this battle. He explains that Crawford's build and physical strength are often underrated, but his track record in higher divisions proves his capability. Bernie stresses, Crawford isn't just moving up recklessly, he is calculated, strategic, and fully aware of handling bigger men. To him, the real deciding factor won't be size, but intelligence, adaptability, and ring craft. Bernie believes Crawford's team outthinks Canelo's camp, and that mental edge could secure victory.
Crawford, you've seen him in the gym, but have you seen the best Crawford under the lights, you think?
When they say the best Crawford, I don't know. I like all Crawfords, how you do. You know, that's what makes him a dynamic champion. You know what I'm saying? The best Crawford is what it takes to win. You know what I mean? Now, some fights are more interested than others. As far as, like I say, the fight with Klimov was kind of a slow fight. You know, and maybe the Madrimov was a slow fight. Benavidez was kind of a slow fight until he knocked him out. But he was doing a lot of great things in there, so... Buzz fights, they're always exciting. You never know what's going to happen in those fights. So the best Crawford he's always at his best.
PHX, Patriot, thank you for the $2. Get the likes of BMB, best in the biz. Something when Bud walked Canelo down. No way he's too small. Fire. Let's go Crawford.
Exactly.
Yeah, a lot of people do say that. A lot of people are saying that they don't think that the walking down situation will happen because of the wrestling background, the grapplings, the tactics, you know, the balance and stuff like that. Stuff that Bud knows how to do because of his, you know, wrestling background. What would you say?
Man, I don't know nothing about no wrestling background. I mean, he did wrestle for a time, but he was not no national champion wrestler. He was not no real high school wrestler where he was wrestling all his years in high school. He wrestled. The man is just a freak of nature. He's an athlete. You understand? That's what it is. So his specialty is boxing. Okay, now he's strong as an ox. That's where his shit coming from. So they're not wrestling. It's not gonna be no fucking wrestling. Feel me? He doing strength and conditioning training. He's strong as an ox, like we already know that. His hands like baseball mitts.
Canelo Alvarez enters this fight with humility and respect, acknowledging Crawford as a genuine threat despite being naturally smaller. In his own words, Canelo believes weight is less critical at the sport's elite level because champions know how to adapt and compete across divisions. His comments prove he is not underestimating Crawford. Instead, Canelo vows complete dedication, knowing skill and preparation matter as much as size and strength. This mindset signals fans will witness both fighters performing at the very best of their careers.
Because Terence is a smaller guy, and why do I need to fight this guy? For you, what changed? Tell me about the moment where you're like, you know what? Maybe I'll do this. This sounds like a good idea.
No, if you're thinking about it, look how big turns this fight. It's a big fight. No, that's why made me change. But you know, I've been in his situation before, jumping weight classes, and when you're a good fighter, that doesn't matter. So I'm not gonna focus on that. I'm gonna focus on training very hard because Crawford is a very good fighter.
Yeah, tell me about your experience with that, because now it's reversed. He's coming up in weight. What could be dangerous? What aren't we seeing that maybe you see in this fight?
No, everything. He's a good fighter. Obviously, I know that, and I need to be careful. I need to be careful in everything, so I see everything. And
Shakur Stevenson openly supports Crawford's chances against Canelo, basing his confidence on first-hand experience in training camps. Stevenson reveals that Crawford has sparred against fighters equal to or even larger than Canelo and dominated those sessions. He stresses that while Canelo's chin is legendary, it won't save him from sharp, precise combinations. Stevenson argues that boxing isn't about absorbing punishment, but about avoiding clean shots. Crawford's accuracy ensures every punch, matters proving he has the right tools to handle both size and durability in this monumental challenge.
Honestly, like, as of right now, I think Bud to beat Canelo. It's not going to switch. There's nothing that's going to change what I feel.
You've been feeling like that since day one. I think, but now nobody never thought about that fight like that, because when you were saying nobody was thinking about that fight because now you thought Crawford. I still think it's crazy though. For me, I still think it's crazy. But like you said, I'm not in the gym. I'm not in the gym.
You have to see him then. The people he spars, everybody that Bud Crawford spars is the same size as Canelo. Like all these guys that he's sparring is bigger guys. He don't even he do spar with people his size sometimes, and sometimes he getting it with me. That's strictly for skill. That's strictly to keep his skills, his hand speed, the IQ level up. But the people that Bud Crawford spars is big ass dudes, and I'm watching what he can do in the ring and sparring. It's nothing that's gonna change come fight night. And I hear y'all say the 16s and the 8s is different. I agree, but y'all gotta realize Bud got on 8s too.
And the chin also. Bud chin, man.
Bud got on 8 ounces too. And you can have all the chin in the world. I don't give a fuck. Who the fuck you is, if you get punched by the right motherfucker, you gonna feel that shit.
That's the thing. He got punched by the right motherfuckers in Triple G and Kovalev.
And you don't know if Bud gonna crack him with a cleaner shot.
Legendary analyst Jim Lampley provides a cautious viewpoint, expressing concern that Crawford may simply lack the size to cope with Canelo. Lampley admits Crawford's skill is world-class, but insists natural strength and durability matter at the highest level. In his opinion, Canelo's experience facing bigger fighters and his proven toughness could make bridging the weight gap a severe challenge for Crawford. While praising Crawford's talent, Lampley frames the contest as an uphill struggle, stressing that physical disadvantages remain a serious risk in this daring move.
The conversations, I'm sure Jim will be hearing them abound. What do you think about the fight now as you just witnessed Canelo Alvarez again in the masterclass performance?
I love Terence Crawford, and I want him to have what he wants. But off of what I saw tonight and what I saw in Los Angeles last month when Crawford was fighting my dream off, I am more than ever concerned that he's not big enough. And not big enough to be able to move around the ring and muscle Canelo in the way that you would have to ward off those really vicious inside power shots. I might have thought a few months ago that I would give Crawford a logical chance to win the fight. He is the most skilled pound-for-pound fighter in the world, but I just don't think he's big enough and strong enough to take on Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds. And so far, Crawford is 154-pound fighter who's only been to 154 pounds once and didn't get a knockout. So, I just don't see it at this moment. I think there is a very obvious assignment out there for Canelo Alvarez, and it isn't Terence Crawford at this moment.
Crawford's decision to rise in weight and confront Canelo highlights his incredible ambition. Few fighters risk their legacy by challenging opponents who are naturally bigger, yet Crawford embraces the danger. His success at 154 pounds showcased his adaptability, proving he can dominate heavier rivals. At 168, the challenge is far greater, but his blend of accuracy, movement, and tactical awareness means size alone won't overwhelm him. His confidence in scoring a knockout illustrates belief that skill and intelligence can neutralize Canelo's raw strength advantage.
As a southpaw, but basically, he can fight in both stances. Bud Crawford is taking his undefeated record, putting it on the line, daring to be great, to try and knock off Saul Canelo Alvarez from his throne and go and try to do something that no man has ever done, and that is to be a 3-division undisputed champion. That's a tall task. We know that Canelo Alvarez has fought fighters way bigger than Bud Crawford. It's actually one of the biggest talking points in this fight is the size. Canelo Alvarez has fought guys like Bivol. He's fought guys like Kovalev. He's fought guys like Billy Joe Saunders. He's fought really big fighters who are established at their weight classes all the way up to light heavyweight. And we know that Bud has come from a smaller weight class, being a champion all the way down at the 135-pound division into 140, 147. But as you can see in the tail of the tape, Bud is actually taller. Bud actually has a bigger reach. And quite frankly, he did most recently fight in the 154-pound division. And I don't think he will struggle to make weight to be at 168 and fight as a super middleweight. The question is, though, is bone structure. Who's going to carry that weight more effectively? We know that Canelo Alvarez has been in the weight longer, and as I mentioned, he's fought bigger guys.
Edgar Berlanga applauds Crawford's bravery while offering crucial advice. He warns Crawford to stick with the style that made him elite, rather than adjusting recklessly to match Canelo's strength. Berlanga believes relying on timing, precision, and calmness is the key to success. He also argues moving up 2 divisions actually balances the matchup more than critics admit. Whether Crawford wins or not, Berlanga insists simply taking this fight cements his greatness, proving his willingness to test himself against one of the most dangerous champions in the world.
First of all, he got to go in there, he just got to fight him, you know what I'm saying? He got to go in there, I think Crawford just got to go in there and do what he got to do, you know what I'm saying? He got to just be Crawford, show his IQ, show him why he's a two-time undisputed, world champion, and going there with confidence. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. It's a big weight difference, a big weight jump. That could be a difference in the fight. Because obviously, it's like me jumping up to heavyweight. Obviously, I'm a feel the power. I'm a feel that size difference, compared to my other fights. So I just think that he got to go in there and just be himself. And I said, if he loses, we'll just all know that, hey, he just jumped up 2 weight classes to be great. You know what I'm saying? It's not.